Hi. It's me. And I just found a red keycard. And now my teammate is starting to look at me funny. Welcome to Tarkov. This place fucking sucks. It hasn't always been this way though. Tarkov was once a thriving economic zone in the Russian Federation that has since been destabilized into looting and gang warfare due to the actions of various PMC groups and the evil corporation known as Terror Group. Because with a name like that, no one could have seen that coming. You play as one of these PMCs trying to get out of Tarkov and avoid the consequences of your actions. So loot, shoot, kill, trade, kill, and you just might make it out alive.
Let's say face belt! Gonna control like gonna education. Gonna be a prisoner of bandization. Say you wanna be a summer, gonna be no mention. Ready to get you. Hello, this is the Lord God, can you hear? Help my and that nation, what I've done for you down there. On earth I have ambassadors, ambition, big up road. We'll find you with morality, you best abandon any.
Tarkov just had its 1.0 update, and so I thought this is as good a time as any to give it a review. So here's the download. I will go through the basics of the game and how it plays, give you my thoughts on the game, and tell you if it's worth getting. So let's start. When starting Tarkov, there are two factions, Bear and USEC. There isn't really much discernible difference between the two, especially for a new player, apart from the country of origin, some minor in-game faction relations, and story relevance. So just go with whatever you want. After choosing your fighter, you're taken to your stash, and from here you can sort any items you get from raids, and choose which opportunistic psychopath you want to appease. Prapo deals in Soviet and Russian arms. His tasks are generally fairly basic, and he's fairly easy to level up as well, even if he does have a lot for you to do. So if you want AKs, he's your guy. He also looks like the funny laughing guy meme. Therapist is actually one of the nicer traders who is trying to get civilians out of Tarkov and deals mostly in medical supplies and food. She still takes bribes, of course, and the fact she's selling to you, a PMC, who is probably responsible for the current situation, is probably telling of her moral compass. Fence sells random crap. Skier's an arsehole. Well, they all are, but Skier especially. He's a dock worker who smuggles stuff into Tarkov and sells it to the highest bidder. He deals in pretty much miscellaneous stuff, but the stuff only he can get. So if you need that stuff, you gotta pay up. And if you don't want to, tough. Skier's quests are often at odds with the other traders, with you often having to choose between him and the others. So choose wisely, because if you piss him off, he's not going to trust you easily again. Not without more bribes, anyway. Peacekeeper is part of the UN peacekeeping mission, and since he's on the list of traders I labelled as opportunistic psychopath, you can probably guess how well that's going. Peacekeeper deals in Western gear, M4s, AUGs, the lot, but not in rubles, like the rest of the traders. Peacekeeper only takes cold, hard American dollhouse, but his quests are fairly straightforward.
Can we get much higher? So high.
Mechanic's just some gun nerd who tinkers with guns in the abandoned factory. That's it. He's just got cool guns. Still takes bribes, though. Ragman's actually an okay guy. Not morally, he's still an opportunistic psycho who set up the flea market to continue arming the various factions in Tarkov, but he's nice about it at least. Ragman specifically deals in clothing, so he's kind of important if you want to survive Tarkov, because that level 3 packer isn't going to see you very far. His quests are mostly straightforward early on and tend to take place on interchange. A daunting map, but it's simpler than it looks. Just, if you hear angry shouting, just go the other way.
Hear me out, babe. The balls got hard too.
Ref is a part of Tarkov Arena. I don't play Tarkov Arena, and I've not done any of his quests. So...
Gonna cry? Piss your pants, maybe?
Fuck Jaeger. He's some hunter/forest ranger guy who sells hunting and survival equipment. But all his tasks are the weirdest things in the world. Like, hydrate yourself and kill people. Only kill PMCs and do it with a bolt-action rifle. Kill randos with no armor on at all. Spin around 70 times. Piss on the floor and fire into the air until you have 1 bullet left, and then shoot killer in the head through his helmet's eye slot 4 times. And I will let you buy another bullet off me you won't use because it won't even penetrate 1 ply. Speaking of bullets... Every bullet has a penetration value number, and every piece of armor has a rating ranging from 1 to 6. 1 is nothing, 2 is nothing, and 3 means you may survive a stiff breeze. So generally you want to use 4 minimum, and even then, you'll probably still get absolutely lambasted if the enemy has anything better than buckshot in his gun. Bullet penetration works based off the penetration value of the bullet. The higher the number, the better the penetration. But often or not, the higher the pen, the lower the flesh damage of the bullet. So the best rounds are often ones that have a good mix of the two, or just really high flesh damage, and you just like spray the guy's legs with a high fire rate weapon or something. Yeah, you don't have to mag dump to the chest. Aim for the face or unprotected areas. It all works, the armor is modelled like that. So don't think you can't win just because you've got Gexa rounds in your gun and Tagilla's currently gunning for you. Okay, well you probably won't win that, but you can still try. How are you not dead? Now that you have a grasp of the fundamentals, it's time to raid. The starting maps you are offered are Interchange and Ground Zeroes. Ground Zeroes seems like a good place to start. It's not. It's massively cramped, has tons of camping spots, and you often have to expose yourself to reach other areas. Interchange also takes some getting used to, so in reality, you have to bite the bullet for either one. Get fucked. Not everyone can be customs, apart from customs. Customs is awesome. When you finally enter your first raid, you will want to have your focused on your main task from the traders. Doing them will get you more rep with them, which will allow you to level them up, which will allow you to buy more cool stuff to harm others with. It's time to learn about the people you will be facing off against in Tarkov. Scavs are your random people who thrive in the chaos that is Tarkov. Once regular people, like police officers, civilians and gang members, Scavs are generally fodder. Often armed with shotguns and little armor, they aren't much of a threat, but don't underestimate them, because at the end of the day, a gun is a gun, and it still hurts to get shot. PMCs are the other mercenaries trying to escape Tarkov after things got a little bit fucky-wucky. If you play PvP, it's other players, and if you play PvE, they are AI that is better than Scavs, with wildly varying equipment generally. They're a little bit of a wild card, and require a bit more thought when attacking than Scavs. Raiders are heavily armed Scavs that are often guards of Scav bosses or high-interest areas like labs or special extracts. They are accurate, often heavily armed, and will absolutely scrunch you if you don't respect their ability to hit you in the face when you're wearing your best armor. Just be careful and change position every now and then. Bosses are the hardest SOBs to kill in Tarkov. Scavs of Birmingham. They have some of the best weapons, some of the best loot, and are most likely going to kill you. So generally you want to only go after them if you're sufficiently clued up on how they fight, and have the equipment to survive the encounter as well. Cultists are a weird one, only because they only appear at night in designated cultist areas, and are often sneaky fuckers with suppressed weapons. They're so sneaky, in fact, that they can even lower their body temperature so they don't appear on thermal scopes. They're that sneaky, they even hide from the laws of thermodynamics. They're so sneaky, I couldn't find them on the map, and as such have no footage of them. They're that sneaky.
Ah! I need a medic bag!
Oh no, you have been harmed considerably, but mope not, mercenary, you have healing items. Tarkov comes with a fairly in-depth healing system with various status effects and ailments, so let's heal them. The first one you generally want to deal with are bleeds, of which there are two types, light and heavy. Light bleeds can be ignored for a little while if need be, like say someone is rushing you or you're about to rush someone else, but heavy bleeds generally need to be dealt with fairly quickly if you don't want your inside juice to become your outside juice. To heal light bleeds, bandages and most medkits will stop a light bleed, but for heavy bleeds, marks and other specialized items are often required. If you're unsure at what item you need, just right click and inspect it and it will show you in the description of the item what it does. Don't double click it, that will use it. Next up is pain. Pain is received from a variety of things, but most often it's because something is broken, because you've been shot. I have yet to see someone being shot because something is broken, but I'm sure it's happened. Pain is dealt with by taking pain meds, which come in a variety of forms as well. Injectors are most people's top picks because they often give other buffs alongside it as well, but some don't actually kill the pain, so read what they do before taking them. Breaks are what you think they are. It's broken bones. I'm sorry I raised my voice. Mwah. Breaks are fixed with splints, and, well, splints. Breaks cause weapon split. Breaks cause weapons spray. Blah 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 blah. Breaks cause weapons sway, so generally breaks cause weapons sway, so generally you want to deal with them second to bleeds, because it's kind of hard to shoot someone with a broken arm. Lastly is HP, which stands for He Putis. You know what this does. If it goes to 0, you die horrifically, and no one will remember your name. So keep it top and full if you want to be remembered. My little pumpkin spice you. Mwah. Your HP is segmented into 6 zones. If it goes to 0, you need to use a special item, like a CMS, to get it back, or it will act as if it is broken, and permanently debuff your max health. Once you fix it, you will then have to re-heal it, because it will only be on 1 point. And when you bring it back, it will also still have a permanent HP debuff, because fuck you. There is also no reviving your head. If that zeros, you die immediately. Similarly, if your stomach zeros, you will die. Eventually. If you don't heal it. So if it does, you better find a CMS quick, because... Now that the very basics are out the way, like 14 minutes into the video, let's continue. After completing your task and collecting all that random trash you found on the floor, you may be tempted to just sell it all for sweet, sweet rubles. But wait. A lot of junk items will be used to upgrade your hideout, which will unlock various bonuses and features for your own money-loving emotionless psycho. Included, but not limited to, the firing range, for testing out your weird and wacky weapons of zany and odd proportions. Ah! Anyway. The workbench will also allow you to use Tarkov's very in-depth weapon builder, and I mean very. It's quite fun just spending time in here and seeing what you can make. Like this. It doesn't work, but, I mean, it looks funny. Now that you've got a few raids under your belt, and have, mayhaps, leveled up a bit, let's talk about the various skills you level up, as your PMC gets better at murder. I won't be lifting off all of them, like before, because there's too many, and they're fairly self-explanatory. So, to give a generic overview of the skills, you won't notice them. They tend to add very small increases as you go, so it will often feel as your PMC isn't improving due to the levels. But it is, and it just takes a while. About every 15 levels or so, you may start to notice a slight difference. And like I said, it's small increases to stuff like health, weight carry limit, stamina, and stuff like that. It's not the most important thing, and it tends to only really make a notable difference when you start to max them out. Same goes for weapon skills. Not a lot of difference unless it's really high. So just use the stuff you like to and have fun. So in conclusion, Tarkov is a very in-depth game that will take up a lot of your time and very likely your will to live. But every now and then, just sometimes, it's fun. If you don't want to be dealing with this shit, then play PvE mode. It's a lot more fun not having to deal with Jimmy Streamer Man on his 12th Dorms run when you're trying to get the machinery key. I made the switch and I have not looked back. It's just so much better for someone with actual gameful employment. Of any kind. Or any kind of employment, that is. Get a job. All in all, Tarkov gets a... out of... Bye.